Today we are working on area and perimeter. And so I have two sample problems, and then you are going to do the two problems in your packet. But when we are looking for area, no matter what with area and perimeter, we want to find how long across and how long up and down. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my square, and I'm going to count how many squares there are across. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 5 up top because I know it's 5 across and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. It's 5 across down here and it's 5 up and down over there. And so now that I know how many it is across and how many it is down, I can work on my area and perimeter. And there's two ways that we can find our area. We can either multiply two of our sides, so you want the top or the bottom, up to you, and either the left or the right side. So I can do 5 times 5, and I know that gives me 25. So my area is 25, and the unit is square units. So I don't want to forget my units. Just because it doesn't say feet or centimeters or inches doesn't mean that I can't put my units. It's just square units. Or if I didn't know what 5 times 5 was, I can count all of my squares on the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So whether I do my multiplication or I count my squares, my answer is 25. Now I want to challenge you. I want you to try the multiplication when you are looking at your area, because you can always check your work by going and counting the squares after. And so our area is everything that's inside our big square. So here's our big square. Our area is inside the big square. And for perimeter, that's around what the length is around my square. So for perimeter, I add up all of my 4 sides. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. And I add that together. I get 10 plus 10 is 20. And again, I need my unit. It's just 20 units. And so that is how I'm going to find my perimeter and my area. Perimeter, you add up the length of all the sides. Area, you're going to multiply 2 of your sides. Make sure they're next to each other's sides. So you don't want to just multiply the top and the bottom. You want to do a top and the side or a bottom and the side. And so with area, our units, it's always square units, and for perimeter, it's just our units. So let's try another one. So the area, I'm going to go first and count how many it is across. It's 3 across, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. It's the same thing. Your up and your down, your top and bottom always match, and your left and your right, your 2 sides always match. So my area, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the top and a side, and I'm going to multiply them. 3 times 5 is 15. Oops. And then I'm going to double check my work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So now that I've checked it, I'm going to go ahead and add my square units. So I make sure that my units are there. And then I'm going to go and add my perimeter. So I'm going to do 3 plus 5 plus 3 plus, oh goodness gracious, plus 5. When I add those together, I have 8 plus 8 is 16. units. So this is how you find your area and perimeter. Go ahead and do the two problems that are in your packet. Now, after you do the area and perimeter for your packet, it asks you two questions. It wants a real-life example of area and a real-life example of perimeter. So think about some of the things that we talked about in the classroom. We talked about if I wanted to know how many ceiling squares there were, would I use area or would I use perimeter? If I wanted to know the size of my classroom, would I use area or perimeter? If I wanted to know the size of the floor so that I could put new tile down, would I use area or perimeter? So think about maybe some things at school where we would use area or perimeter, and then think about some things at home where you would use area or perimeter. Think about a garden. If I wanted to know how many plants there were and how many plants I could plant, would I use area or perimeter? Or if I thought about if I wanted to put a fence around a garden. I know a couple of you are building chicken coops or you are making gardens. So if you wanted to put a fence around it, are you going to use area or perimeter to figure out how long that fence needs to be? So go ahead and think about those examples and do your work for today.